weekend, XL Sports World is put up a special day as we fight cancer. And for this weekend, we have given each of the teams a special roll of hockey tape to use in purple color that they can use for today's games. And today's game will feature our A-Division team, Big Hawks, against the Lock Monsters. Welcome to the Rshl. Daniel Wilson here. Well, I have come to the liberty of giving everyone purple tape to use because today is going to be our cancer night. But let's get to today's matchup. Big Hawks seeing a lot of success that they have not had in past seasons. Going in 3-0 so far as we approach the halfway point of the spring season. As for the Lock Monsters, everyone else is pretty much has been on a slow start 1 and 2, but mainly because of the domination of the Big Hawks this season. When it comes to everyone else, it's just average. So they're just up against a tough team. We'll see if they continue. So what is causing that success for the Big Hawks? Let's go to the breakdown. For this matchup, we are going to go with our goaltender, Mark Kamoshi. It's been alternating between goaltenders for the Big Hawks, but it has worked out for them quite well. Kamoshi comes in. If I can get my stat sheet up, I ended up loading the wrong team. He's actually coming in for the first time for the Big Hawks, as it's usually John Cowan. He's not available tonight, so they have to rely on him. For the Lock Monsters, we're going to go for Kevin Ebner. All 3 of his points have been goals, but it has been pretty spread out. Other than that, 7 goals out of 3 games. They're going to have to look to get some more offensive support. So we're going to have to see who's going to step up. So that'll do it for the breakdown. The ball drop is next. Officials for this game: Greg Parlanti at center, Paul Pelka on the boards. So we already know that the Big Hawks are bringing a lot of offense into their games. They got Chris Lyons, Tim Corrigan on the floor right now as we get underway in our A-Division game. Off the boards, and it's going to be a Lock Monsters under control. Holding up and dumped down the floor. Donald Shaven looking for some help, goes to the opposite corner. Looks for Stella, and back down the floor goes. Lock Monsters have to hurry because here comes Tim Corrigan. He steals it away, tries to bat it down. Looking out, going towards the slot, knocked away by Ritter. Barbado trying to race it down and runs into some traffic. Tries to who that was. It looks like Brian Hooks that he ran into. Drop pass to Frost. Crosses. Turnaround shot going high, and Kamoshi covers up. And for the record, Chris Lyons, the points leader of the team, 3 points, 2 assists. And behind him is a tie between Reese Southern and Lee Rainers, 4 points each. But the goal scorer of the two is Southern. Toss-up goes to the Big Hawks. Off the boards to Young. Looking at one, tries to stretch a little too far. We picked up by Edgecombe. Take it behind his own net. And looks at Blake Haller and gets away for one. Takes a poke check from Young. Is forced to drop it back to Mitch Stevens. Now getting tied up with Daner. And finally pops loose back to Stevens. And looking for a way out of there. Blake Haller on the forecheck. Keith Meister in for the Lock Monsters. Will dump it to the opposite corner. Lee Rainers will take a look. Rayners looking at the approaching forechecker. And we'll go across over to Young. He intended for Young, but didn't quite go off so well. But look out, and it's an offside against the Big Hawks. Toss up, we'll go to Frost for the Lock Monsters backhanded. Easily blocked and turned around out of the zone as they head into the corner of the Lock Monster zone. As that looks like Frost getting tied up in the corner, pinned up. Shepard going on the back check. And here comes Ebner the other way. Tosses left. Has a break. Everybody lost control. A good chance for Andrew Jabor. But here's an open chance. Score! Andrew Jabor! One-time tip in, and the Lock Monsters have a 1-0 lead from Jabor. And that is his third of the season. And I believe they gave the assist to Kevin Frost. And Frost will turn around, just misses Shepard, but it's down the floor for an icing.
Hey, 2 centers, 3 sets of wings, all right? Well, hey, down 1 minute. Down there. Hey, you're out. You and Jack will be wing. Okay, everybody else careful with their own wing. 3 wings, 2 centers.
They'll go to Lee Rayners. Sets up shot and a stick save by Schaffner, and it hits the ceiling.
He's going to be playing up.
Schaffner comes in at a 2.5 goal against average, just under 900. Not bad for this point of the season. As another face-off goes to Big Hawks. Rayners with a slap shot blocked by Digiacomo, and it goes into the corner. Edgecombe trying to get some help. Stretching it around the boards, trying to look for Stevens. Goes opposite way, looking for Ritter. Runs into traffic in form of Brian Hooks, but they'll race it down. It's between Ritter and Lons, but Lons is going to get there first. Drop pass, bad one. And they get into hacked and whack. Another slap shot up in the air. It was blocked. That was not a good pass from behind the goal line as Rayners looks at Ritter, backhands it up, and a point-blank chance. They just got the stick of Schaffner. Left, right by the net, and a quality chance for the Big Hawks, but could not convert. As that's chipped down the floor by Meister, glove down by Kamoshi. Looking for an opening, and a slap shot from the center line goes into the left corner. And going around for the Big Hawks is Blake Holler. Pops into the right corner. Young getting a little tied up. Turns it over to Daner. Stolen is a wrist shot that is blocked by Meister. Back to the bench of the Lock Monsters. Everyone digging in and dump down the floor. No icing here. As Kamoshi drops it off. Here comes Meister on the forecheck, but can't get there in time. Rayners on the boards. Chipped it a little too far for Young. Crosses, and he can't get it either. Nato from the left circle. Centers. Takes a shot and a pad save to the left end boards, and around it goes back to the Big Hawks. Rayners again. Crosses. Waits for an opening, takes the shot, saved by Schaffner, and he'll cover. And toss up on the face-off will go to Kevin Frost. Trying to stretch it up to Barbado. Poke check from Hooks, but still with Barbado. Barbado centers. Try to get to the number 23. Andrew Shavor, the recent goal scorer. Crosses. Shot saved by Kamoshi. Diving across on the one-timer. Back on the left circle. Tried to get back to Frost, but it's back to Barbado. Frost again. Trying to turn around. Lost control of the ball for just a moment. Back up to Barbado. Across. Back over. At the point. Setting up and trying to look for a tip. Point blank, and that one just caught the pad of Kamoshi into the corner. And digging in, trying to center again, no one available. And good keep in by Kevin Frost. Barbado one more time. Slap shot, wide of the net. Tries to go around, hits the side of the net. And back to the center line, race for control. Big Hawks have it. From the circle, tried to center up. Not enough, it was intercepted by Chris DiPiero. As both teams will make a change. Oh, turned it over nearly. It went off the stick from Tony DiGiacomo. Good hand-eye coordination there. Big Hawks try again. To the center line, crosses the center line. Edgecombe will just backhand it back in. Nearly escaped Rainers, but he'll take it through the center line. He'll drive it. Well, too far for him to handle. Back in through Corrigan, and he'll have to chase this one back to his own corner. 5:15 remaining in the first period. Corrigan up to Rainers. A reset on the attack. You hear the play call. Tries to center for Corrigan, and that did not work out so well. Good back check. Through the center line again, and Big Hawks forced to reset. Rainers, it's for everybody set up again. Tried to protect the ball. He put himself into a perilous position. Ryan Boris dump back to the right corner. Big Hawks are going to make the change. And Chris Lyons on the attack. Forecheck working. Crosses. NATO. Here's the call. Heads back. Shaman over to Hooks. Shaman waiting. He'll wait on it. Now he'll pass left. Tried to go to NATO. He wasn't ready. And now sweep check from Hooks. Slap shot that's blocked by Keith Meister. Stevens driving, trying to get to Meister, poke check, back to Stella, 2-on-1 the other way along with NATO. Stella trying to drive it himself, he's taken down. No call from what I can see. And NATO goes back to pick up his stick. In the meantime, Longmonsters on a temporary 5-on-4, but Stella's going to head to the bench. Ritter centers again, intended for Meister, who will be taken up the other way for the Big Hawks. 3-on-2. Hauler back to NATO. NATO on the left boards, tries to look for a centering pass, no one available. Back to the point, push back to NATO. NATO with a slap shot, saved by Ryan Schaffner. Backhand from Hooks, that goes wide. Frost trying to get the attack going. He'll just dump it to the opposite corner. Not hard enough for an icing. That'll allow for a change. Young. Trying to get everyone to reset. Big Hawks have had plenty of possession time, but just hasn't had the opening that they needed. Their passing lanes have been blocked all over the place. Rainers stretch pass up to Young. Oh, went off his foot back into their own zone. So we'll try again, but it is offside. Won by the Big Hawks. Rainers, right. Trying to drive it. Gets cut off by Stevens. He goes down on his own accord. As Jack Edgecombe the other way through the right circle. Intercepted. Big Hawks one more time. Backhanded. Open chance. Can't get the backhand off. Rayners drives it. He's going to try to center it. Poke check from Barbado. Back to the corner. Another man goes down. Still no call. Physical battle on the forecheck. And now a break. Shot. Score! Bang, bang for Andrew Shabor. He's got two. And so with a minute approaching, Lock Monsters in a good position in the first period. As it's swatted down, they try to drive again. DiGiacomo getting double teamed, heading towards the right corner. He gets cut off. And now they get tied up as the Big Hawks just want to get out of that zone. Tries to center off a leg. Big Hawks. One more time. Tim Corrigan stretches to Lons. He'll try a wrist shot that's blocked by Meister. 45 seconds left in the first. Back it goes, turns it over to Joe Daner, and it turns into a 2-on-1. Daner tries center, blocked by Blake Haller. Off the boards, Lons centers. Looks for a wrist shot off a stick and hits the ceiling. We should have time for another face-off. Ten seconds left, and so the Big Hawks do have time for another shot. Corrigan with one that is blocked, as DiGiacomo will just try to dump it out. A little trouble, but the clock runs out anyway. So the Lock Monsters off to a good start in this first period. Doing good on the forechecking, back checking, blocking lanes, and they come out with a 2-0 lead after one. We get ready for the second period. Lock Monsters have been cutting off the lanes all around the place. Schaffner hasn't faced that many shots on net, but Big Hawks have had plenty of possession time. It's a long shot from Shaven, goes wide. Attempted clear by DiPiero is successful. Patrick Barbado chases it down to the left corner. Looking for an option, blocked by Shaven. He'll clear. As DiPiero will take it behind his net. And on pursuit was Chris Young. And back out it goes. Brian Hooks with control for the Big Hawks. He'll try a long shot, saved by Schaffner. Not that often he goes for the wall. That is definitely high. And a penalty being called against the Lock Monsters for high sticking. And it is Patrick Barbado called. He'll serve the 2 minutes. So the Big Hawks will have our first power play of the game, and a much needed one. Toss up goes to the right corner. Big Hawks have it. Reversing, looking for the offset, tries to go for Hooks, and intercepted by Shabor. He'll clear down. Kamoshi will wait for everybody to tag up and drop it off to Lee Rayners. Rayners off the foot of Shepard. He retreats. Looks at Meister and now switches gears. Tries to center again. Intercepted. 2-on-2 shorthanded the other way. And a stick save by Kamoshi. Hits the ceiling and a face-off in the Big Hawk zone. And right to Kamoshi, and he'll drop it off. Rayners plays off the scorekeeper's table. He should learn to play golf, because that was a great placement. And back it goes to Raiders. Shepard from the boards, trying to look for an option, looks for the tip, and that goes into the ceiling with 45 seconds remaining on the penalty.
I'll count it out. You want to open the door? I'll count it out.
And the Lock Monsters clear down one more time. 30 seconds remaining on the penalty. Rainers goes left over to Corrigan. There's not much time remaining on this power play, and so far hasn't gone that well. They only had one tip chance, and that one went high. From the right corner, opposite, going to Stella, tries to go across to Corrigan, misses him as Barbados getting ready to get out of the box. There he goes, and we are back to full strength. No shots on net during that 2 minutes.
Woo! Get it out! Get it out!
As Raiders tries to go off to Stella.
Back door!
Back it goes
Tony,
to the
back
point.
door. Still there.
Tries to go opposite. Corrigan was thinking going up close. Didn't have a good handle on the ball. And off the back of the net. You'd be fooled if you're at my angle, but that one hits the ceiling and another face-off.
All three guys, come here.
And this will go to the Lock Monsters around the boards, but ends up in the hands of the Big Hawks. Slap shot and a big save from Schaffner, and a big rebound too, but no white jerseys around to pick it up. Back to NATO, and stripped of the ball by Kevin Frost. Frost is trying to look for Ebner. Well, he was the goalie of the team until Jabor scored his 2. Drop pass to NATO. Slap shot off the post. Is it in? No goal. Close call for Ryan Shatner. Hit the inside of the post, went right back to him. And down the floor it goes for an icing. That was really close for the Big Hawks. Their best chance yet. And tie-up will go to the Lock Monsters. Kevin Frost looking at Chris Young, tries to go to the corner. And just about gave up on the play, but luckily goes to, looks like DiGiacomo will play off the boards. Rainers reverses and tries to get everyone rearranged and chips it past Chris Young, but it's sent back to Rainers.
Pressure.
As we approach the halfway point of the second period. And off the body, and that was Kevin Ebner with a block. Ebner trying to get a chance, and driving in was Brian Hooks. And now a 3-on-2, well, it would have been, but it's been whistled offside. To the Big Hawks, Hooks crosses. Shepard trying to race it down with Meister. Meister has control, but is forced to play it around the opposite corner. And runs into traffic in the form of Brian Hooks. They battle foot, but the Big Hawks have possession. Rainers up to Hooks. And off the foot of one of his own players, and has to go back. They do tag up. Trying to look for an opening, and it hits the shin of Jack Edgecombe around the boards. Rainers trying to look to drive it and drops it to Shepard from the circle. Shot going wide. Back to the opposite corner. Everybody digging in. Big Hawks still looking for the opening. A crowded net right in front. Shot in a save by Schaffner. They tried to screen him. Wasn't fooled by it. And now here's a 2-on-2. Drop pass. Intended that one. Trying to see who that was, but a chance for the Big Hawks the other way. If he can get there, was cut off temporarily. Will go left to Stella. Centers. Oh, could not get a shot off. Edgecombe. Going along with Andrew Shavor. And now he is pinned up to the left. And Shaban takes control for the Big Hawks. Stretch pass to Corrigan. Here's the call from Lons. Went hot off his foot. He was looking to drive it, but did not get the bounce he needed. And turned it over. Corrigan shot and did not get all of it. And an easy save for Schaffner.
Good drop.
And we'll go to the Big Hawks. Again, double team. Does find Corrigan. Takes it himself. Lost sight of it and drops to DiGiacomo. Up to Barbado. Getting a couple of poke checks from Hooks. And here is Ebner the other way. Ebner centers to Ritter. Settles it down, tries a shot, and it deflects into the safety net. Back to Frost. Trying to get a good handle on it, try to get back to Ebner. Misses him, and back behind the net and over to Barbado. Trying to deal with Brian Hooks. He lost his stick, and now here's Corrigan chasing it down with DiPiero on pursuit. Lons with a turnaround shot that is knocked away wide. Barbado along with Ritter. Barbado tries a wrist shot easily wide of the net, and Kamoshi is forced to play it. And turned it over. A big one here. Barbado holds it. Shot close. Save by Kamoshi. A bad turnover, and it turned into an open chance for the Long Monsters to make it 3-0, but Kamoshi bails them out this time. And a toss-up. Going to off the post from DiGiacomo. Now point blank for Daner. Got a little tied up with Stella. Turn around, it goes wide. Lee Rainers place it off to Shaban. Trying to settle down, trying to get away from DiGiacomo. And now I'll place it down the floor. Edgecombe take it behind his own net. On pursuit is Chris Young right behind him. Stella tries to join in and opens the gates for him. Swings to the inside. And Shaban trying to bat it back to himself. He does, but does he have an opening to get an attack started? Oh, tried to clear it out, unable. Here's a shot, tipped, and did not get through. As the Big Hawks trying to rearrange one more time. And down the floor again, and covered up by Schaffner. Back to the Big Hawks, tries a wrist shot, hits the ceiling, and we'll do it again. And a false start, and once again, we'll have to do the face-off all over again. Back it goes to the Big Hawks, backhanded, try to look for a tip, turnaround shot, is it in? Score! Schaffner thought he had it, and it just bounced off his glove and official Peltoco saw it, and the Big Hawks are on the board. And breakaway to Giacomo. Shot save by Kamoshi. He may have lost control at the last second because it was rolling the whole way. Frost with a shot blocked by Hooks. Up it goes and it hits the ceiling. As we approach 90 seconds left in the second period.
Hey, Steve. Who's the guy that got State Farm on the back? 47 on the second.
And back out it goes. As Kamoshi will try to drop it off. I believe that is Tyler Ennis, or Jacob Ennis, pardon me. A recent acquisition for the Big Hawks. And now here's Corrigan. Tries to stretch DeLons off his foot. They thought they were offside. Turns to a breakaway for Jabbar for the trick. No, he does not get it. Covered up by Kamoshi.
Okay. It's David.
The goal for the Big Hawks, by the way, was credited to David Lane. And according to my stat sheet, that would be his first of the season. 30 seconds remaining. Time for another push from the Log Monsters, as they now have to deal with a 1-goal deficit now. Glove down, kept in by Ennis. Shot and blocked as Edgecombe does have time for one more try before the end of the period. Shabor has 2 goals. Centers up one more time. Intercepted by Stella. 5 seconds left, and they are just going to kill the clock. Oh, lazy pass! Shot going high. Oh, got to be a little more careful with those guys. That's why you got to pay attention to the clock and just ice it if you need to. But they do get out of that unscathed. But they do get 1 on the board, and it is.
Daniel, you need to fix that camera.
I need a. They may have just knocked my camera out of the one behind the net. We'll get that fixed, and we'll be back. 2-1 Big Hawks after 2. Third period, the Big Hawks get within 1 here on Hockey Fights Cancer Night. You remember at the top of the video, to mention that each of the teams this weekend get a purple roll of tape that they can use for their games today. And you probably have caught some of them using that hockey tape on their sticks. As the Lock Monsters get underway in the third period, Meister stretches it. Gets through 1, turns into a 2-on-1. Shot! Save! Open chance! Wide! How did that not go in? Now Shirley. Oh, he scores! Tony DiGiacomo. 3-1 Lock Monsters off the slap shot. I wonder if he was inadvertently screened by his own teammate, because I saw one white jersey go across. Other than that, it was a nicely played shot, and the Log Monsters have their 2-goal lead back. As Shaban trying to knock it up towards Nato and return to sender, but it goes back. Blake Haller with a shot, stick save, and covered by Schaffner. Back it goes to Ennis. Wrist shot off the back of Shepard, and it turns into a 3-on-2 the other way. It is Ebner, Daner, and Ritter tries to go right. No one available. Tries to kick it back. Down the floor goes, around it goes. who will get there first. It looks like it'll be Shepard for the Big Hawks as they just complete a change. Centers try to get a tip, but none available. Ritter trying to get out of their own zone, taking a couple poke checks. Gets through DiPiero, but he retains control. On the board to turn it over to Lons, and that's a block by Kevin Frost. He did recently come back from injury, and a big save from Schaffner. Trying to cut him off. Got to be careful not to cause interference here. Off a body to the slot. That would have been a big chance for the Big Hawks, and it is an icing. And won by the Big Hawks. Tries a backhand. That was coming from Haller. It was blocked. Stretches it for Barbado. Look at Lee Rainers from the boards. Tries a shot, blocked. Back to the corner along with Keith Meister. Sent around the boards by Haller. To the center line, off the boards. Had no one available. Tries to get it back himself. 3-0. Oh, he can't get anything going. I cannot believe that a 3-0 was not successful twice this year. I believe the other 3-0 that we had was back on the Ironman tournament, and that did not succeed either. And out it goes. Lons racing it down. Can't beat Stevens. 10 minutes to go. Down the floor for an icing. Won by the Big Hawks. Haller from the corner. Centers for Lons, and that one just tipped wide. Lons trying to hold on to getting a double team. Back to Shaven. He'll wind up for a shot. Score! Shaven! From the point downtown. And the Big Hawks are back within one. And that would be Shaven's first of the season. And that shot tipped high coming from DiGiacomo. Drop off to Brian Hooks. Still got plenty of time to tie this game up. Back around it goes to Shaven. Up to Nato. Backhands it. Tried to go for Stella. But back it goes. Across the line for Nato. Has Chris Young. Leaves it for him. Young with a shot that is blocked. Young centers, tipped and gloved down by Schaffner. Won by the Big Hawks. Hooks tries the wrist shot, that's blocked. Up in the air, spins over to Stella, who drives that one wide. Back to the point, Hooks again, that goes wide. Chris Young, he'll try one, that's blocked by DiPiero going wide. Tips on off the crossbar! And somehow Schaffner comes up with a save after hitting the top of the crossbar.
All right, we got next shift, all right?
Won by the Big Hawks. Hooks tries to wind it up. Save by Schaffner. He'll hold on. As we approach the halfway point of the third period, the Big Hawks are sniffing out blood now. Back to Stella. Hooks with a shot that's blocked. Back to Rainers at the center line. Rayners with a wrist shot. Tip that would have been an illegal goal anyway, went off a glove. Mitch Stevens tries to lift it out, he does. Will chase it down, and a burst of speed, but it's an icing anyway against the Lock Monsters. Won by the Big Hawks if they can hold on. Back it goes to Rayners. He'll try a slap shot. Glove save by Schaffner. Just tracking with the body. Stay in front the whole time and out it goes. As Brian Hooks getting away from a double team. Rayners nearly turned it over. He might have turned it over. Jabor still looking for the trick. Centers, and that's tipped away. Haller sends up, intended that for David, and centers up for Ennis. Left to an open Shepherd shot, save by Schaffner. Schaffner doing all he can to protect that lead. Back it goes. Ennis goes left. Shaven centers. Misses a couple. One going down. No call from either official. David Lane with control. From the boards. Centers. Gets Blake Haller. Stolen away. And Barbado puts it back down the floor. Ennis has to track it down. Back on his own goal line. We'll play it around. DiPiero will take control. Back to Frost with 5 minutes remaining. Frost lost control, and he has to race down Chris Lons, who throws on the Jets. They head to the boards. They fight for it. Physical activity picking up in the corner. Lons comes up with control. Back behind the net. Still waiting for an opening, and now tracks back to the point, goes back to Hooks. Slap shot, save by Schaffner. Tries to go for the rebound, back behind the net, and back to Stella. Back one more time for Jacob Ennis. Tries a shot that was blocked by DiPiero. Barbado will just send it back down to floor to try to kill some time. 4:20 remaining in the third period. Back around and turned it over. Good tip as Hooks slides across to try to keep the play alive. Here is, well, it was going to be Corrigan, but tipped back into the Big Hawk zone. Chris Young centers. A play off the boards. Blake Haller, right corner. Trying to get an opening. Back it goes to Rayners. Goes across, shot, score! Ties it up. 3:45 remaining. It had to come down to when they were going to find an opening. He does find one. Steve Nato on the outside slide, and we are back to a whole new game. 3:30 remaining. So the Big Hawks may keep their perfect season alive as they is pushed back down the floor. The race between, and a big shot saved, but a penalty coming up against Shaban. This should be for interference because he gave him a pretty good shove going down, and Shaban is going to serve the 2 minutes and a crucial power play for the Lock Monsters. With 3:11 remaining, it will not be that long until we go to a stop clock. Back it goes to the corner, attempted to clear. They are successful.
Not time.
Kevin Frost, as we are now at the 3-minute mark, and now the stop clock comes into effect. And maybe a chance for Meister if he can hurry. Shot saved by Kamoshi. He covers with 2:52 remaining.
Line up, line up.
Back he goes. Tried to take it himself. Wrist shot and a save by Kamoshi. Coming from Kevin Frost. Frost one more time. He'll tap it right. Back it goes. And Mitch Stevens with a shot that was blocked. And now NATO, no, I'm sorry, that is Rainers that is pinning him up. Double team along with Stella. Stella has control. He'll play off the boards and down it goes. And now race down. It's going to be Mitch Stevens back up to Frost as the Big Hawks make a change. Giacomo winds up with a shot and instead he just dumps it. Back to Frost at the left point. Look at Greg Shepard. We'll track back a few inches from the center line, centers to Stevens. Back behind to Jabor. He'll try a shot from a wide angle that's saved and covered up by Kamoshi with 1:56 remaining and 44 seconds remaining on the penalty. And right now, I think that the Big Hawks would not mind if this went to overtime. As they attempt another clear that went off a body. Back to Frost. Wide angle shot, and that's blocked. And Hooks backhands it around between Meister and Corrigan. Corrigan trying to get it out. Does find Young. He may have a shorthanded opportunity. Centers and blocked by Stevens. Centers! What a save by Schaffner off the one-timer! A big shorthanded opportunity and a big save and a whistle. 1:25 left and a huge save by Schaffner. And Kevin Frost has been called for a penalty and it's hooking. So we play 4-on-4 for 14 minutes, but then the Big Hawks have a big power play on their hands. But Schaffner, wow, a big save to keep this tied up. Ennis will send right to Luz, leaves it for Corrigan. Corrigan winds up, he'll take the shot going wide. And now a power play for the Big Hawks. You see NATO trying to drive the slot. He does not have anyone to give it to him though. DiPiero tries to center up and down the floor, but they'll kill time anyway. Less than a minute remaining. And now the scenario has flip-flopped on the teams. Now the Lock Monsters just want to try to get out of here unscathed. Tipped on and saved by Schaffner with 41 seconds left.
The next one, yeah, if you want to go out and kill. All right. Time out!
What timing on the time?
Before the drop.
Well, you heard the Captain Kevin Frost call a timeout, and just before the drop occurred, so they can take their timeout. So what timing that was? That was like 0.2 of a second before the ball hit the floor. But they're going to talk this out with 41 seconds left in regulation. The Lock Monsters just want to get out of the period and try to send this to overtime. But it's been a mixture of blocking lanes and Schaffner coming up with some huge saves to at least try to push it to overtime.
I added the time back on.
So what are the Big Hawks to do? I see all 5 runners just standing there. They're not even trying to plan a strategy. So interesting that the Big Hawks did not huddle up. I think they may have already have a plan in mind. One by the Bayhawks, but driving in is Ritter. He's got a one-on-one short-handed chance. Shot wide of the net. Kamoshi trying to get it out of danger. Back to Ritter. Well, backhanded back out to the end boards. 25 seconds left in regulation. Poke check from DiGiacomo. Has to race down Stella. Now tries to get around Hooks. Backhanded chance blocked by Hooks again. Rainers. Well, let's play it back to Stella. 10 seconds left. They got time for one more try. He's going to try a long distance shot and a save by Schaffner. He's just going to hold it on. And we're going to overtime. So 3-all. It has been a close game, but the Big Hawks still have 35 seconds left on the power play. So right now the main focus of the Lock Monsters is just
Tony,
get their man
out, you go up, okay?
Get their man back and then go back to what they've been doing.
Still got 35 to kill here. Everything out.
One by the Lock Monsters. That's a first step to try to kill this penalty, and they'll dump it. Back to Hooks. They'll play all the boards to Corrigan. Driving in is Meister. Has a chance. Shot. And that one tipped away and covered by Kamoshi with 18 seconds left on the penalty.
You gonna get it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll show you.
One by the Log Monsters. DiGiacomo winds up. Shot just a little high. And Frost is back on the floor full strength. Stevens holds on. Drives in that save by Kamoshi. He holds on. Toss up goes to, still looking for it. Everyone's still trying to get it, and it is Lons for the Big Hawks. Dumped down the floor. Corrigan driving in, and Schaffner's going to go the aggressive route. Is this going to work out? Centers, and no one available. 2-on-2 the other way from the Long Monsters. Gets cut off. No call from either official for that play. And it'll be NATO taking a couple of poke checks. And back across to Stevens. We'll just push it back across the line, and Jacob Ennis. Back to Hooks. NATO will try to drive it. Takes a poke check. Center. Shot. Save. He lost sight of it. And a big save by Schaffner once again. NATO had a big open net, but caught the pad of Schaffner. It's one of those times where you just have to settle down and just take a look before you shoot. And unfortunately, because he didn't, all he got was pad. And a tie-up on the face-off. DiPiero goes to Ritter. 2-on-1, along with Jacob Ennis. Ritter, turnaround shot blocked by Hooks. Then we'll go to the opposite corner. DiPiero back to Frost. Winds up, shot going wide. Halfway through overtime, back to NATO, who will put it back into the Lock Monster zone. Race between Young and Frost. And Young, oh, and his stick was held. That's going to be a penalty against Frost. Kevin Frost will get a second penalty for holding the stick.
Barely. Hey, come on. Hey, yo.
So another power play for the Big Hawks. One-timer and a stick save by Schaffner. Shot coming from Jacob Ennis. Left corner. As the Log Monsters now just have to kill another penalty. And a slap shot going high. Lane trying to chase it down, but knocked out by Andrew Shavor, and Lee Rainers will take control for the Big Hawks. So they will still have at least 15 seconds of five. Oh my goodness! Are you kidding me? Center line and Lee Raiders somehow gets it through Schaffner, and the Big Hawks escape with a win in overtime. Disaster for Ryan Schaffner. What in the world happened there? I don't know if that dipped on him or if he lost track of the ball. I do not know, but the Log Monsters will at least get a point in the standings, but the Big Hawks keeps their perfect season alive. What a way to end this. We'll be back with a wrap-up. It's one of those moments that all goaltenders would rather not remember at all. That what a way for this game to end. Again, I don't know if he lost track of the ball or if it dipped on him or whatever, but that is what happens with one shot that can completely change a game. And so the Big Hawks will retain their perfect season for now, but the Log Monsters do get a point in the standings. And at best today, they'll be at least third place. So that will do it for Hockey Fights Cancer Night here at XL Sports World. We'll have some more games for you coming up later this season. But for now, this is Daniel Wilson. We'll see you next time around. If you enjoyed this game, be sure to check out the other games here on our YouTube channel at Raleigh Street Hockey. Also be sure to check out our sponsors at allblackhockeysticks.com. You can get an all black stick for just under $100. Not a bad deal. Also be sure to check out our other sponsor, Hagen Hockey, which has some great hockey equipment for you. In order to get free shipping, just use the promo code Raleigh Street Hockey.